And it's rare we get an insight into what's going on in North Korea. When we do, it's usually pretty shocking. Well, recently, UN officials threatened to refer the communist state to the International Criminal Court following a report about concentration camps. It claims torture, executions and starvation are commonplace. And our team met with some of the survivors to hear their story firsthand.
Over beef stew at a restaurant in Seoul, Chol Hwang-kang and his comrades break into song. They're fighting for democracy in North Korea. Bringing about the fall of the totalitarian state has become Kang's purpose in life.
I can't predict if the North Korean leadership will fall by 2015, but I have a feeling that this year or next will be an important turning point for some kind of change in North Korea.
Kang is a survivor of the North Korean camps for political prisoners. He spent 10 years in Yodok, located 70 miles from his former home in the North Korean capital, Pyongyang. His crime? To have been the grandson of a so-called traitor.
I was only little in those days. I didn't really understand the situation. It was the first time I'd been to the countryside, so I didn't understand why my parents were so sad.
Sent to the Gulag along with most of his family at the age of 9, Kang's life quickly became a living hell.
Even when I had eaten almost nothing, I still had to do hard labor. I felt powerless, but I had no choice but to do the toughest jobs. The hardest thing was the lack of food.
After his release, Kang defected to South Korea, where he's head of the North Korean Strategy Center, which promotes democracy in North Korea. He's one of only a few people from the secretive state to have testified before the UN Commission for Human Rights in North Korea. After a year-long investigation, the Commission said North Korea's regime had committed crimes against humanity. Its findings could prompt changes in North Korea, according to this conservative member of the South Korean National Assembly.
Despite appearances, the North Korean regime cares about what the rest of the world thinks of it. It wants to show that the living conditions are improving. We shouldn't expect any radical changes, but I think the investigation will prepare the ground for gradual change in North Korea.
Dong-hyuk Shin does not share his optimism. Shin is the most famous survivor of North Korea's vast network of labor camps. His story is the subject of an international best-selling book and a German documentary. Shin was born in the camp, regarded as the worst in the country, and attended the public executions of his mother and brother when he was just 13. They were executed after Shin, fearing for his own life, told the camp authorities that they were planning to escape. Guards cut off one of his fingers as punishment for breaking a sewing machine. On a visit to Japan, he accuses the UN of not doing enough to help the North Korean people.
History tells us that the UN Human Rights Committee has never solved a single problem involving human rights abuses and the actions of brutal governments. They missed a lot of opportunities and took a long time to pay any attention to North Korea. The UN Human Rights Committee has to take a more proactive approach to improve the situation.
According to the UN, between 80,000 and 120,000 political prisoners languish in North Korean labor camps.
Well, up next here on France 24, we'll take you to South Africa, where people are closely watching the televised trial of Oscar Pistorius, the Paralympian who today pleaded not guilty to murdering his girlfriend last February. We'll have that next.